The last couple of weeks I've had a couple of questions for candidates, so I'm going to go straight into it this week with how long should you wait for an answer from a hiring manager or recruiter? And that answer is not that simple, it's actually quite complicated. How long you should wait is really dependent upon a couple of factors, and one of the biggest factors is what's the size of the hiring team that are at that particular company. Do they have a recruitment team that they're going to go through all these processes and box ticking? Have you given it to a recruiter? Have they got to go through a lot of processes and box ticking? What's the relationship like with the end user? There's so many factors. The problem with this question is the answer should be no longer than a week. And it depends where you are in the process. So if you've just submitted your CV, then what I would do is not count on it until you've had a response, whether you're yes or a no. Even not having a response over a longer period of time doesn't mean to say it's a no. It just means to say their process is not that good and they're very bad at getting back to candidates. Don't take that personal. A lot of people do, and I understand the frustration when you're looking for a job and no one responds to you. I get it. I've been there myself. I get it. But we need to move on. We need to keep looking and finding a better role. So, how long it takes? Let's say a week. It shouldn't take longer than a week for a CV to be submitted. Bear in mind the time of year that we're on at the moment. If you're watching this in Christmas time, then even more so then. The time of year, summer holidays. Hiring managers like to give vacancies to recruiters and then disappear on holiday for 2 weeks. That's a commonality, by the way. But this is an important factor as well. So we've got to understand the time of year, where you are in the process, how big the company is, what is their recruitment process and how that works. Now, the ideal situation is that you submit a CV within 24 hours, you know where you stand, whether you got an interview or not. So that's one part of that. The second part of that really is if you have had all those interviews and you're expecting some sort of yes or no answer or offer or whatever it is, then how long should you wait? I've seen this process take up to 3 months before now. 3 months! That is a long time. Again, you shouldn't be waiting longer than a week for that particular situation. So it's outside of a week, then I would reduce the odds of you taking that job, or even reduce the odds of you having that job, I think is probably the right way to put it. I find that every day that goes by after that week, then the odds of you actually getting an offer drops by probably 20%. So think about that, okay? Let's be a little bit kind of forward thought on how long something takes, how long we need to kind of concentrate on it, and once it's past a period of acceptable time, and like I say a week, then move on. Don't dwell on it, move on. Try to stay positive because looking for a job is hard, and I get that. Question number 2 I was asked quite recently actually, should I call the recruiter hiring manager to find out where I am in the process? And I guess, yes, you should. Yes, after a couple of days, maybe 72 hours have passed, 3 days, then phone the hiring manager or recruiter and just say, hey, I'm just wondering where you are in your decision-making situation, or where the hiring manager is in the decision-making on this particular role, and have I been successful or not? You may or may not get an answer in that situation, but all you're doing is showing interest, and then leave it. And then if you don't hear again after 2-3 days, given that week kind of process, then again, accept the fact that it may not go the direction you want it to go in. Don't get frustrated. So should you call a recruiter during the process? Yes, you should. Give you 3 days, call them. If they already told you how long it can take, then call them on that day that they told you they should be getting feedback for that particular role. This last question is such open to interpretation that I should really do a video of its own. So I'm going to touch upon it and then I'm going to plan a video in the future. Why can't I find a job? And I'm just going to give you quick pointers on why you can't find a job at this moment in time. Expectation is number one problem with candidates. The expectation is higher or greater than what their skills and experience are showing. And remember that word, showing, in their CV. And I want to explain that. When you have expectation is, let's say you believe you're worth £50,000, for instance, but your CV's not showing that skill and ability, then how do you justify that you are looking for that amount of money? Yes, you may have had it previously in the last role or maybe 3 roles before, but if your CV is not showing that, or the abilities and skills are not, and experience is not there and presented to the hiring manager, then that expectation will be kind of overlooked. And people will say, well, you're not really worth that. And that's how people think. They will look at your CV and say you're not worth that. So you need to prove upon them, press upon them, give examples, give achievements, and make sure that you tailor, and I keep saying this every time, like I say, I sound like Martin Lewis of the recruitment world, tailor your CV to reflect the job advert that is out there so that people can see that you are relevant. Obviously, don't lie, but you know what I'm on about. Reflect it, put some effort in it. And that's really the second point to this. A lot of candidates, and I'm sorry if this insults you, but a lot of candidates are not putting enough effort into their job search. They go into one of the job boards, hitting reply or on their phone swiping, and off it goes. This generic application that you left on your profile on these job boards. That is the quickest way to not finding a job. By doing that, you are part of the 98% of people that do not get asked back for interviews. Only 2% get asked back for interviews from that process. So you need to be very proactive. You need to get out on social media. Some of the best candidates I've picked up this year have contacted me on social media and presented themselves to me and actually admitted, I have no idea what to do here in this marketplace, Mark. Can you help me? And we've worked together and we've discussed together what they can do. Admittedly, I can't do this for everyone because not everyone I can help. Very small percentage of people in the marketplace I can help because of my specialism, and I'm not freaking amazing at doing everything. Not yet, hopefully. So I hope these kind of tips help. I'm going to try my best to make a video on why you can't get a job. It may be longer than 10 minutes though, because there's a lot to talk about. But the problem is, in this day and age, we've got to do more than what we think we've got to do. Even with a candidate short marketplace, a talent short marketplace, and a low unemployment, with so many jobs in the marketplace right now, we still got to make a lot more effort in how we look for a job. Because it doesn't start with the application. It starts with you right now before you make the application. I hope that all makes sense. Good luck in your job hunting, and I hope to speak to you all again. And if you have any questions, pop them in the comments or give me a shout. I'll put my email address on this so you can ping me an email. Take care. Bye-bye. Why not check out thomaslee.co.uk for the latest jobs in engineering and technical sales across the UK? Or even, how about you check out our blogs and vlogs for the latest thoughts about recruitment and tips on how to find a job and how to find candidates as well.